What's up, guys? So we're looking into the Sean case. Uh, so the mother and father put out a YouTube, or not a YouTube, but a Facebook page called "What Happened to Sean." So if you want to look more into it, that's the place to go look. Uh, there's so many things in this case that don't make no sense whatsoever, and there's no way this kid done the S. I can't say the name, but done the S to himself. Like, yeah, somebody did it and caused this kid's death. But the police department, without even searching at all, like they didn't search at all, they didn't do shit. They're gonna lie. You're gonna listen. That's what we're listening to. We're gonna listen to this cop because the family started getting some traction after they said that the kid committed the S. Uh, the family started to get some traction on some things that the cops did not do. So the cops held a press conference, and that's what we're going to listen to. And I'm probably going to stop it a few times because these cops are idiots. Like, yeah. Well, here we go.
Recent statements have caused concern in the community that the death of a 12-year-old on April the 14th, 2022, has not been fully investigated by the sheriff's office.
And it hasn't. At all. Like, literally. Like, there was a finger, like a handprint, on, I don't know if it was the back window or the back door, or the window on the back door, but there was a handprint. The night that this happened, they didn't even take the handprint. They left it there. The boy's underwear, the kid that supposedly S'd himself in the backyard, his underwear was taken off and in the parents' bedroom. No, the parents, if you haven't looked into this case, the parents have nothing to do with this at all. They were both at two different doctor's appointments, so they have nothing to do with it at all. So, but his underwear was found in his mother and father's bedroom, and the cops didn't even take that as evidence. Like, the handprint in the underwear got given to the cops the next day because the cops have already ruled it the S by the son. They didn't want to look any more into it, and they didn't. Like I said, go to What Happened to Sean's Facebook page and read, guys, because there's so many things in this case that the cops screwed up on. It's crazy.
Office, and that there may be a killer in our area that poses a threat.
There is a killer in your area that is a threat. Yeah, there is. 100%. And you guys did nothing about it.
Nothing could be further from the truth.
It could definitely be further from the truth. Like, go read this Facebook page, guys. You will not believe what this cop just said after reading that Facebook page. There's definitely a killer out there somewhere in this area.
It has been the long-standing policy of the York Pocosin Sheriff's Office to not release information relating to cases, particularly those cases that involve children. We do everything within our power to preserve the privacy of the grieving family. We take these matters very seriously, evaluate all evidence, and consider all possibilities. The York Pocosin Sheriff's Office is aware of a recent social media site created to provide the public with theories surrounding the death.
No, it's not theories. They don't say a theory at all in that page. They show you the evidence and tell you how the evidence come about. And why didn't the cops check this? And why didn't the cops check this? And why didn't the cops check this? It's not a theory if the shit they're talking about actually happened during this time. It's not a theory. They didn't say, why didn't you check the green car that drove by and there wasn't a green car that drove by? No. They said actual facts on the Facebook page that aren't a theory. They're actual things that happened.
of this 12-year-old. Much of the information being posted to this social media site is opinion, innuendo, and fabrication.
No, it's not. It's straight facts that you guys didn't look into because you've already come to the conclusion before you even looked into it.
Which is not consistent with the evidence that was collected.
You didn't collect any evidence, dumbass. You didn't take fingerprints off the swing set. You didn't take fingerprints off the kid. The kid's hands were locked in his freaking belt. Literally, locked in his belt. Both his hands were down to the side in his belt. Tight enough that it left red marks on his wrist. They didn't look into that either. They didn't look into the neighbors that were both cutting grass on both sides of the property that day during that time. They didn't look at surveillance cameras around with different houses. They didn't take the underwear that was found in the bedroom in the parents' bedroom as evidence. Like, there's literally, they did not look into this case at all. Zero looked into it. He's full of crap. Like, let me show you this guy. Hopefully you guys can see him. Can you see him? Yeah. This is the guy. Well, it's hard to... right here. He even looks like he's lying. Like, literally. The guy looks like he's lying. He's trying to cover their ass because they fucked up bad on this case. And the mother and father ain't putting up with this shit. They want to know what happened to their son and why it happened.
By Sheriff's Office investigators during their investigation. Once that evidence was collected, it was submitted to the Department of Forensic Science for evaluation and later to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. By law in Virginia,
you didn't look at anything, dude. You didn't take fingerprints. You just assumed that's what happened and went with it and said, well, fuck it. We're not going to look into it anymore. That's what you did.
It is the Chief Medical Examiner's responsibility to determine the manner and cause of death which the Chief Medical Examiner's Office. In addition, the Sheriff's Office met with the family on multiple occasions and gave them the opportunity to discuss this investigation.
One time, the police department came to their house, and that was the very next day, and that's when they got the fingerprints that they should have got the night before, and the underwear that was up in the parents' bedroom. That was the only time they gave this family a chance to talk to them. That's the only time, once. So he just lied again. Like he's lied a couple times already.
Additionally, an offer was made to have a group meeting after the findings of the Chief Medical Examiner's Office that would include the family, members of the York-Waconia Sheriff's Office, and the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. As of this date, the family has not expressed interest in scheduling the meeting. Instead,
I wouldn't schedule anything with you either. You guys are bullshit, crappy cops. Like, I have nothing against cops. We need cops. Cops are a good thing. But cops need more training. Like, lots more training. Like, I just, like, in the last couple months been doing, like, missing people and stuff like this. In every case, there's some type of screw-up by the cops. In almost every case. And it's like, man, these cops need some more training. Like, a lot more training.
They chose to post this video publicly. There were several key points that were...
They chose to post the video publicly because you guys chose not to help them at all. That's why they posted a video about it. Because you guys gave up on their son who was murdered. That's what happened.
made in this video that the sheriff's office will address. First, in the video, the mother said, "They have told me a few times that they really don't know how to investigate this kind of murder case because it's really complicated."
That probably was said by one of the cops. He's gonna say it wasn't, but I'm sure it was said.
The implication being
she talks about this on that Facebook page, so you can definitely go check it out.
The York Pocosin Sheriff's Office. That statement is absolutely not true and was never made.
How the fuck do you know, dude? Are you every single cop that was there? So you just assume that you know what every cop there said? How can you say something wasn't said when there was multiple cops there? What? You don't know what was said by every cop? You know what was said by you, but you don't know what was said by all the other cops. I think a cop did say that to her.
To this mother. Our investigators are recognized in the Hampton Roads area as professional, caring, competent major crimes investigators.
You guys suck then. If you guys really think you're that good, you suck. Like, you did a horrible job in this case.
They have investigated and solved numerous cases that include homicide.
Do you guys just go to cases and say, well, this is what happened and move on? Because that's what you did on this one.
Homicides. They have several decades of investigative experience within the division. The investigation divisions consist of graduates of the Virginia Forensic Science Academy.
I don't care where the hell they fucking graduated from. That don't mean they're good. Just because you graduated from frickin' college doesn't mean you're good at your job. It doesn't mean shit. It sounds like you're just going after the family here. Like, instead of trying to go after the evidence that the family has gave you that their kid didn't do this to themselves, somebody else did, you're going after the family, which makes you bad cops.
Academy, which has certified them as crime scene experts.
Just because they graduated college doesn't certify them as experts. They could be wrong and mess up too. And they did very badly in this case.
Along with processing the scene and interviewing witnesses.
You didn't process the scene, you idiots. You didn't take any evidence. The family had to call you back to get you to take some evidence the next day.
And the family, investigators interviewed a significant number of people to include surrounding neighbors, lawn care personnel, school officials, friends of the 12-year-old, and other community members. The results of these initial interviews did not identify any potential suspects. Also during the course of this...
There's like 2 videos of some person walking up and down the road. Did they check into that person? Probably not.
Investigation, the family provided information on...
What about the young son, the other son that was there, saying that his brother was fighting and wrestling with somebody that was there that's older? This is the brother that was there. What about that? Oh, nothing? Okay.
On individuals they believe may be involved in the case. Their suspicions were based on people that they merely believed to be in the area at the time of the incident. These individuals were all located, interviewed, and ruled out as persons of interest by Sheriff's Office investigators. The evidence collected and documentation shows many discrepancies in the version that was put forth on the family's page.
No, there's not. Like, they don't put out an opinion. They put out the facts that you didn't look into. My internet.
Videos and photos you see on their social media site are not from the actual scene. They have been...
It's at their house, so how can they not be from the actual scene? Like, literally, the videos and pictures are from the house where this happened.
Fabricated. First, the video of the man walking in front of their house is from 1 month after the incident, not the day of the incident. Two,
If some weird man walks in front of my house a month later, I might think that person is involved. What does that matter if it was the day of or a month later? Some weird guy walked in front of their house, their kid got killed. So, really, dude, you're a bad cop.
the blood spatter image depicted in the video was not from the scene. However, we went back to the home on May 20th, 2022 at the request of the family. During that visit, the mother pointed out a red stain on the wall in the upstairs area of the home. Investigators photographed that stain on that date. Later, investigators reviewed the photographs that were taken on April the 14th, 2022, the day of the tragedy, and that stain was not present on that wall.
You're an idiot, dude. Like, I get it. You're going to take pictures of things that you think are evidence. And there's no way you took a picture of a wall just to take a picture of a wall. And I can literally, in that picture, let me go back just a little bit here. Oh, maybe I went back too far. That I call bullshit on that one. But that one could be true. Like, there could be just a stain that happened later on, and the mother just seen it later. We'll give him that one. We'll give the cop this one.
April 14th, 2022. In the mother's video, she states that her 2-year-old child witnessed the events that occurred in the house. During a recorded interview on April the 14th, 2022, between the mother and sheriff's office investigators, she stated when she left the house that afternoon to take her mother to an appointment, the child was asleep. When she returned home after the tragedy had been discovered, she is quoted as saying to the sheriff's office investigator, quote, "Thank God he was still asleep," meaning the 2-year-old.
Here's the thing, stupid cop. This kid, this young kid, that day might have not remembered anything. Like, he might not have remembered anything that fucking day. Maybe he took the next day or the day after, things start popping back in his head and he started remembering. He's fucking 2. So you're wrong again. This cop's an idiot.
The information that she stated in her video about the 2-year-old has never been disclosed to the sheriff's office.
I wouldn't disclose shit to you either, because are you going to do anything about it? No. You guys already come to a conclusion before you even took any evidence. I wouldn't give you no information either. I'd be like, to you. That's what I would be.
In the mother's video, she states there was mud in the backyard, even refers to it as swampy. And she noted that there was no dirt on the 12-year-old's feet. Images from the day of the incident on April the 14th show that the grass was not wet and the yard was not swampy.
Well, if this is actually an image from the 14th, then possibly she's a little wrong, but if his feet were immaculate and didn't have any dirt on them, it's a dirt spot underneath the swing. There would be dirt on the bottom of his feet, but he didn't have any dirt on his feet. Whether it's swampy or not, if you're walking barefooted out there, you'd have dirt on your damn feet. None? Yeah. You cops didn't even try on this case.
There have been many statements on this website regarding the alleged staging of the scene. The photo of the backyard displayed on the social media site shows a swing set and a chair. It's important to note that the swings that are wrapped over the top post of the swing set and the chair were moved by York County Fire and Life Safety personnel in order to create enough space to render life-saving measures. The chair was moved from its original location under the swing by Fire and Life Safety personnel where the 12-year-old was hanging, to the front of the swing set, and the swings were moved to provide workspace. Our investigation determined that the chair was originally located on the deck at the rear of the home and was moved to the swing set area.
So the big-ass chair was on the deck of the home. You got to realize this kid had to do all this in like 20 minutes, guys. 20 minutes. So this 12-year-old, not very big kid, took this chair and pulled it off the deck and drug it across the yard. That's a good 5 minutes wasted right there, probably. That doesn't make any sense. It's not a fucking grown-ass man that brought the chair across the yard. It's a 12-year-old boy that had to literally probably drag it across the yard, if you're going by what you're saying.
Also during the course of our investigation, DNA samples were collected from the cord that the 12-year-old was found suspended from. This cord was not a shoestring. It came from a motorcycle helmet bag that belonged to the stepfather that had been previously located in the garage. The 12-year-old's DNA was the only DNA found on this cord.
Show proof. I don't believe it.
Specifically, the DNA swabs were taken from the knot placed in that cord, and the only DNA on that knot belonged to the 12-year-old. In the video, there's an allegation that members of the YPSO, the York Poquoson Sheriff's Office, washed blood from the 12-year-old. At no point did any member of the Sheriff's Office clean or remove any blood from the scene or the child. At the hospital, investigators placed bags over the 12-year-old's hands prior to him being transported to the medical examiner's office. This is common practice to prevent the loss of any potential trace evidence. Based on the fact that the family was telling us that neighbors had information that they were providing to the family about possible suspects, our investigators went back to interview those neighbors, and none provided any additional information or new investigative leads. There is a statement in the mother's video about the unusual location of the 12-year-old's underwear. The clothing that the 12-year-old was wearing when he was located that day belonged to his stepfather, to include the stepfather's shirt, pants, belt, and stepfather's underwear.
Yeah, and you just left the underwear up there. You didn't care about the evidence. You guys already picked what the case was going to be and how it was going to end without even looking into the evidence that was put in front of you. You didn't care. And you can literally see it in your face that you don't care.
The 12-year-old's underwear were found in the same room where his stepfather's clothes were kept. In the video, the mother states that someone from the York Poquoson Sheriff's Office sent her a text that stated, quote, "Time to move on." To our knowledge, that statement was never made.
How the fuck do you know? You don't. So shut up already with fucking... It could have been. Again.
We have done some research and have not been able to locate a text message telling the family to move on. The only text similar to this was a text between the investigator and the mother, where the mother states to the investigator, quote, "It is time to heal."
Yeah, I would want to not deal with you fucking idiots anymore if I was her, and figure it out myself, because you cops suck.
Several theories were presented to the Sheriff's Office investigators by the family. The first theory provided to the family about what happened that day stated that they believed that this was a burglary, and during the burglary, their 12-year-old was sexually assaulted and murdered. However, Sheriff's Office investigators found no evidence of an intruder, and laboratory and medical evaluation...
You didn't even search, you dumbasses. You didn't take any fingerprints or nothing till the next day after the family told you to. The next day.
of forensic evidence sent to the laboratory found no signs of sexual assault. The second theory presented by the family was that this was carried out as a military-type operation directed at them, the family, due to their rank in the United States Air Force. And finally, they identified 3 different people based solely on speculation that they frequented the neighborhood. All 3 of these people were located, and Sheriff's Office investigators eliminated them as persons of interest in this incident. We did not address every inconsistency or fabrication from the social media site. We conducted a thorough, professional, and exhaustive investigation.
No, you didn't. You didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't give a shit.
There is nothing whatsoever to indicate that there is a killer in our community.
Wow, there 100% is lots of evidence to prove that there is a killer in your community.
As I stated at the beginning of this video, it is our policy not to discuss these issues in public, particularly when they involve children. However, the social media site has caused great concern within our community.
It should, because you guys did a shitty job. And there's a killer that killed a 12-year-old somewhere in your community.
We still extend an invitation to the family to meet with members of this agency and the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to discuss the results of the autopsy and our investigation.
I would never do that. I would tell them people to fuck off because they didn't give a shit about this kid at all. And you can literally tell they didn't care. But what is your guys' theory? Comment and let me know.